Started.
Ah, Two Dog Man. Okay, what's he got here? E4. How about E5? Haven't had an E4, E5 game for a while. C4. What the heck is that? You know, I have seen that before, but I forget. It's almost like transposing into a Sicilian, isn't it? This could be like the Botvinnik setup if he plays his knight here and there. Okay, but there's a good square for my knight here, so why not take advantage of that? And I think I will prevent the pin on my knight. Actually, that was unnecessary. I was going to play this pawn here anyway, and so this bishop has nowhere to go but here. So that h6 move was unnecessary and not good. If I go here, he's just going to take. I'll take back with the pawn, and then he can push his f-pawn forward. Okay, so let's delay that, and let's develop the bishop. And castle. And we'll see how he wants to arrange the rest of his pieces. Yeah, he wants to go there. So he can hop into this square. I might actually trade it off there. Not sure. Here's an idea. I'll try and rearrange my pieces. Rook to e8, bishop to f8, and knight to d7. Taking advantage of the fact that I haven't... Okay, so he's just going for f4 immediately. And let's see, if I don't take, he'll push on with f5, so I'll probably take back with the bishop. And then he's got an open f file to work with. And yeah, but I can put my knight on this square. So what's a good move here? I could also, I could think about playing g5 to stop that, but that looks kind of loose. A loosening move. Here's an idea. I'm expecting him to play f4, and then I'll take, and then I'll put a knight on e5 here. You know, but he could just push it away. He could just push that away with d4. So the knight on e5 is not going to be stable. Well, let's see if he plays f5. He doesn't. Okay, just goes after the bishop. It's not a bad idea. This bishop has no moves. So let's take. Now, if I play f5 here, he can take, and I don't have a great way to recapture. I kind of just want to move my rook back to f8 here. Can he do anything to punish me for that? He can play queen to f3 maybe. Is there another way? Oh, you know, I can play this move now. I can play knight to d4 since he gave up the knight that was guarding that square. He moved it to from f3 to g4. So I think that's better. Now, if I want to play f5, I can play it. Because I can take back with the knight. Okay, if he wants to trade now, I think this will not be so bad.
Check.
He has to give up the bishop pair if he wants to lure this pawn to to d4 and push the f-pawn forward. Okay, but he didn't go for that. He went for the knight move. And once again, I don't have any... Oh, I do have a square for the bishop. I can put it here. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes knight, and then I might be threatening to play c6 here. Does his knight have any good squares after that? It can come here. He does have a square. So if I play c6 here, he takes the bishop, I take the knight, he takes the pawn on h6. I don't like that so much. If I go here, well, actually, momentarily, he can't play g3 to kick my bishop again, so that'll give me time to play c6, kicking his knight. Not that it's such a big deal, but I don't especially want to give up the bishop for the knight if I don't have to. Okay, let's kick that knight and see where it's going. Yeah, so we can hop into some of these squares. Let's reposition the bishop. The bishop was a bit loose out there, or nearly stranded. And the knight could go to h5. It's interesting, but the bishop could go to e5. And that looks like a secure square for the bishop. Okay, so the question is, can I play d5? If he pushes, I can take. If he takes, I take. He takes, and it's defended by the knight. But it's this funny doubled pawn, and then I can play bishop to g4 to chase the knight away. I think I need to do something like this to kind of open up my position. It opens up a file for the rook here, for example. He could take with the knight. Oh, but he didn't. He took with the pawn. Yeah, so I was thinking this is good. I can just trade off that knight and grab that pawn. You can try and defend the pawn with the queen. I can also go after this pawn. Okay, he doesn't bother trying to defend. But let's think about this. So say I take the knight and he takes back with the rook. He may be threatening to play f6. Okay, let's do something different. Let's try and activate my rook a little bit. Maybe queen to
server announcement.
d6 would have been an idea too. Well, it gets the queen off the back rank. I'm still keeping an eye on the f6 square, and I can bring my rook over. Okay, so now he is starting to make some threats here. For example, pushing this pawn forward. And I don't have a good way to chase his queen away, do I? Tricky business. If he moves the knight, then I have rook to g3. So can I, that's the question, can I play g6 immediately? He takes, I take. The knight still has to move. I've got the f6 square under control, it looks like. This looks also a bit scary because it opens up the f-file, so this might backfire. We'll see. Yeah, it's going to backfire. Let's see. He takes, I take, knight f6, bishop takes, and he has queen takes g6. Queen takes pawn check. So after knight f6, I have to move my king. Maybe, though, I can just play king to... maybe I can get away with king to g7. After knight f6 check, king g7. Actually, I could just leave the knight there, too. If I take the knight, my bishop is pinned, so he can win the piece back with the move h4. But if I take the knight, I have rook to g3 then. So I guess that's okay. So then it's knight f6 is the main threat. Knight f6 check, king to g7, and then you go back with check. I take it. You can leave it there, and I'm threatening to take that knight. And don't see anything else. He can place his knight here. Yeah, maybe that's an idea. Knight to e4 hits my queen and hits the bishop, and kind of isolates my rook. Oh, he just grabs a pawn. Oh, and it hits my rook. That's the point. So I take here. He takes the rook. If I go here, he's got he's got that monster knight e4 move is looking pretty strong. And he's setting up a discovered attack here with the knight, so I have to do something about that. I think I have to take it and give up the rook. Not what I wanted. I can take on what is that? D5. I can take on D5 after queen takes rook and threaten bishop to E5. Okay, he gives the exchange back here, and he just wants to go into a scenario where he's 2 pawns up. But there are these isolated pawns. They're not so impressive. Let's see, but I don't want to give up another pawn, so if I move my rook over here immediately, he could just grab on a7 there, which would be pretty annoying. Okay, what's next? Queen to e6 looks good. He went there. So I'm going to put my rook here. I want to just gang up on his isolated passed pawns, which are dangerous. And there we go. He actually can't defend it, but he has counterattacking ideas. So maybe he can give up a pawn. Or maybe he can chase my king back. Let's go to the back rank here. To go somewhere where I'm not giving myself into trouble with more checks. I didn't want his rook coming in with check. And what's he got now? He's covered this diagonal. The checks on that diagonal to his king are not happening. But now it's possible. Okay, so he's hitting this pawn so that I can't so that I can't take the pawn. I don't want to give up my g-pawn. The queen's defending it, but now I am threatening to take on d5 here. Okay, so now if I take, his rook can come into this rank here, deliver a check, and that will drive my king away from defense of the pawn again. Pretty annoying. Okay, so let's bring my rook over here. Once again, threatened to take his pawn. Maybe one of these days I'll get it. I'm now in a position to block some checks if he starts delivering them. Yeah, so this pawn is defended. He's got a check here. And a check here. And I can't really stop them both. Let's see, what's the best placement for my rook? If he checks here, I'll take rook takes, and then I can bring my rook over in front of the pawn and try and chase his rook away. But he can bring this pawn up to defend his rook. It's going to be a very difficult endgame if I get checked here. Is there a way to avoid the check somehow? Maybe coming here. But if I do that, he just pins my queen. Okay, yeah, I don't see an answer here. Looks ugly either way, and I'm running low on time, so let's just do the best. Make a move, anyway. It's not necessarily the best. Do the best we can, I was about to say. But I think I had more time. Maybe I could find something, but I didn't see it. Yeah, so going there, he doesn't check. It's interesting. So now let's go here. Okay, so he's going for the
check.
And I guess I can't easily. Well, let's grab this diagonal and stop the pawn from advancing. Yeah, it's hard for me to get my pieces down around his king because I need him for defense of my king too.
Check.
Yeah, so he goes for the exchange. That's probably the safest and simplest way to win. But he has a little trouble defending that pawn, doesn't he? Now because the pawn is advanced, he can't just support the rook with the backwards pawn. He's got to kind of move everything forward one step, rook here, and this has got to go 2 steps forward. To defend the rook. So maybe I'm getting a pawn. If he goes to, that is, if he goes to
check.
e6. Okay, he just goes to the endgame, which is probably winning. A king and pawn endgame looks pretty simple for the win. But, well, let's see how he does. Yeah, this is interesting. So this is a case where if he ever pushes his pawn forward, now I can step to c4 here. And turn it into a race. So king to c4. If I take the pawn on b4, then I can race this pawn forward. Yeah, he's just caught in a little bit of an awkward spot. So if I just go back, I'm surely losing. His king keeps coming forward, so I have to go for this race. which I am certainly losing. But let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's too bad. Although I get the first move. Let's see how it goes. And he's going to queen here. I'm not sure which way the king goes or if it makes a difference. Yeah, just one step short.
Check.
And needs to just come over and stop me from queening. Pretty close, though. I turned it into a contest at the end.
Check.
And you just want to always threaten to promote this pawn, so he has to either deliver a check or stop you from promoting in some way
Check.
or other. But he can do that. Just walk his queen forward.
Check.
And he's got 2 minutes to figure it out, so he should be able to do this.
Check.
The trick is to chase my king in front of the pawn. With a move like queen to c3 check. Which he didn't do. Oh, he's going for this kind
Check.
of situation, which is winning too. Okay, I will resign here. Good game. I will upload this and do a postmortem.
resigns.
See you guys later. Bye.